Good day. There are 11 top headlines today. Here's the details.
First headline: Police arrests 10 suspected armed robbers in Ogun. The Ogun State Police Command has arrested 10 suspected armed robbers during a series of coordinated operations across parts of the state. According to the police, the suspects were apprehended following actionable intelligence and surveillance aimed at dismantling robbery gangs terrorizing residents. Items recovered from them include locally made firearms, live cartridges, cutlasses, mobile phones, and other tools believed to be used for criminal activities. The police said the suspects had been linked to multiple robbery incidents involving attacks on commuters, homes, and small businesses, particularly at night. Preliminary investigations indicate that the group operated in different cells, with each responsible for specific locations. The Commissioner of Police reassured residents that the command remains committed to improving security and urged the public to continue providing timely information to aid crime prevention. The suspects are currently in custody and will be charged to court upon the conclusion of investigations.
Second headline: Dangote Refinery clarifies reports of importation of finished fuel. Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemicals has denied recent reports claiming it is importing finished petroleum products into Nigeria, calling such claims inaccurate and misleading. The refinery's managing director, David Bird, explained that while the facility does bring in intermediate feedstocks, standard semi-processed materials used globally in large merchant refineries, it does not import market-ready petrol or diesel. These intermediate inputs are processed on-site into finished fuels that meet international quality standards before distribution. Bird stressed that the refinery supplies only fully refined Euro standard products and that confusing feedstock imports with finished fuel imports is a misunderstanding of modern refinery operations. He also reaffirmed the company's role in easing fuel scarcity and supplying both the local and export markets with high-quality petroleum products.
Third headline: Anambra government dismisses rumors of cracks on Equilibia flyover. The Anambra state government has officially dismissed circulating social media claims that the Equilibia flyover in Agwata has developed structural cracks or is being closed or slated for demolition, calling the reports false, malicious, and wicked, and urging the public to ignore them. The governor's press secretary, Christian Aburime, said the bridge has undergone thorough quality assurance and structural integrity tests by certified engineers and relevant authorities, all confirming it is safe and durable. He reaffirmed that the flyover, built to international standards and scheduled for commissioning later this month, will proceed as planned, and described the rumors as an attempt to mislead residents and undermine the government's infrastructural achievements.
Fourth headline: INEC registers 2 new parties. Here's a 1-minute update on the INEC announcement without subheadlines. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has registered 2 new political parties in Nigeria, increasing the total number of officially recognized parties to 21 as the nation prepares for the 2027 general election. The newly approved parties are the Democratic Leadership Alliance, DLA, which met all legal and constitutional requirements during INEC's assessment process, and the Nigeria Democratic Congress, NDC, whose registration follows a federal high court order directing the commission to recognize it. INEC Chairman Professor Joash Amopatan made the announcement during the Commission's first consultative meeting with political parties in Abuja, noting that the Commission had received 171 letters of intent from associations seeking to become registered parties, but that only a handful met the stringent criteria for registration. Certificates of registration will be issued to the 2 parties in due course, as INEC continues electoral preparations for upcoming polls.
Fifth headline:
Senate clarifies position on e-transmission of results. The Senate has clarified its position on electronic transmission of election results, saying that while it supports the principle of transparency and credibility in the electoral process, it will not impose a blanket requirement for real-time results transmission without first addressing legal, technical, and infrastructural concerns. Senate leaders explained that adopting e-transmission must align with Nigeria's electoral laws, ensure data security, and avoid a repeat of disruptions or disputes seen in past elections. They stressed that any change to the current system should be done through due legislative process, including amendment of relevant sections of the Electoral Act, and only after full consultations with INEC, security agencies, parties, and civil society groups. The clarification was issued to address misunderstandings after some lawmakers were quoted as calling for immediate implementation of electronic results transmission ahead of the 2027 general elections. The Senate reaffirmed its commitment to electoral reforms, but emphasized a pragmatic and legally sound approach.
Sixth headline: Senate's rejection of real-time result transmission, assault on electoral transparency, Atiku. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has condemned the Nigerian Senate's rejection of mandatory real-time electronic transmission of election results, calling the decision a, quote, deliberate assault on electoral transparency. He argued that by discarding the proposal to require instant transmission of results from polling units to the Independent National Electoral Commission's portal, the Senate undermined transparency, credibility, and public trust in Nigeria's democratic process and dealt a serious setback to electoral reform. Atiku said real-time electronic transmission isn't a partisan demand, but a democratic safeguard that reduces human interference and result manipulation, and he questioned the commitment of political leaders to free, fair, and credible elections ahead of 2027. He urged Nigerians, civil society, the media, and international partners to push for modern electoral systems that reflect the people's will and ensure verifiable, credible outcomes.
Seventh headline: Regulators push for faster rollout to close Nigeria's 5.66 million metering gap. Officials are urging a faster rollout of electricity meters to help close Nigeria's estimated 5.66 million metering gap, part of efforts to improve transparency in billing, reduce estimated billing, and boost confidence in the power sector. Under the World Bank-backed Distribution Sector Recovery Program, or DISREP, around 700,000 smart meters have been delivered nationwide, but only 150,000 to 200,000 have been installed so far, a slow pace that regulators, DISCO leaders, and the Bureau of Public Enterprises say must accelerate to meet targets. The program aims to supply 3.2 million meters over 4 years, with the government affirming that meters are provided free of charge and costs are recovered through tariff mechanisms. Regulators stress that closing the metering gap is critical to tackling revenue losses, improving electricity distribution performance, and rebuilding trust between consumers and utilities.
Eighth headline: Nigeria strengthens global standing with Data Protection Act. Nigeria's enactment and implementation of the Data Protection Act has significantly boosted the country's global standing in data privacy and digital governance, positioning it as a credible player on the international stage. The NDPC says the law has helped build investor confidence by establishing a clear legal framework for handling personal data, aligning the country with global best practices and facilitating cross-border cooperation with other data protection authorities.
Nigeria's data protection ecosystem has also grown into a multi-billion naira industry, creating thousands of jobs and generating revenue through compliance activities, licensing, and enforcement actions, while the country participates actively in international data privacy forums and networks. Achievements, officials say, enhance trust in Nigeria's digital economy and attract foreign partnerships.
Nigeria and France have taken further steps to reinforce their military cooperation to boost national and regional security, highlighted by a high-level meeting between Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu, and the French Defense Attaché to Nigeria, Colonel Stéphane Useo, at the Army headquarters in Abuja. The engagement focused on enhancing intelligence sharing, professional military training, operational readiness, and capacity building to tackle evolving security threats across West Africa, with both sides describing the partnership as mutually beneficial and vital to Nigeria's broader counter-insecurity strategy. France's continued support and long-standing collaboration with the Nigerian army were emphasized, and officials expressed optimism that deepened cooperation would strengthen defense capabilities, improve preparedness, and contribute to regional stability.
10th headline: Red Cross confirms 162 dead as gunmen wipe out Kwara village in brutal attack. Armed gunmen launched a brutal attack on the Woro and Nuku communities in Kwara State, western Nigeria, killing at least 162 people, the International Red Cross confirmed, as rescuers continued to search for more bodies in the remote area. The assailants, believed to be jihadist militants, reportedly stormed the villages in the early evening, setting homes and shops on fire and forcing many wounded residents into nearby bushland before the confirmed death toll was updated. Officials say the attackers may have targeted villagers after they resisted the group's attempts to impose extremist ideology, and the toll is expected to rise as more victims are found. The massacre is among the deadliest in Nigeria in recent months, prompting condemnation from authorities and calls for intensified security operations.
11th headline: In a Nigerian village, extremists issued a call to prayer and then slaughtered those who turned up. In a brutal massacre in Kwara State, gunmen riding motorbikes attacked the mostly Muslim villages of Woro and Nuku, laying siege to the communities for about 10 hours. After moving door to door, shooting residents and burning homes and shops, survivors told reporters the extremists entered a mosque, announced a call to prayer, and then shot everyone who turned up. Authorities say at least 162 people were killed, though locals believe the toll could be higher and that many were also kidnapped. The assault is part of a worsening security crisis in Nigeria, with armed groups expanding operations southward and challenging state authority in rural areas.
That wraps up today's news. If you found this update useful, please like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to our channel for accurate and timely news. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update.